So I was thinking today, since there is no chapter this week and we can now, have a break, talk about other stuff, I thought I'd make a video about Shanks and Luffy's meeting and then how that would go down. Of course, I know quite a bit of what I say has been said already, but I'm sure that there's a take at the end which you probably have never heard before. So stay tuned as I go through some of the options about how that could go down. Now, before we get into anything that may happen, please, if you haven't already, please subscribe. And if you don't know if this video contains spoilers for you, then just check down in the description. I put a tag for all my videos to let you know how far you need to be to watch without spoilers. So yeah, check that out for this video, all my other videos. And without further ado, let's get into it. Now, the first option that we can talk about of this momentous meeting is just, what kind of things need to happen, right? Because one, there's the whole giving back of the straw hat. Well, we don't know whether, Luffy might keep it in the end because it kind of seems like Luffy's brand at this point. But, Luffy at least attempting to give it back, right? That what needs to happen. There needs to be kind of a Luffy meeting Shanks again because he hasn't seen him in, about 12 years. And so we need some kind of occasion to mark that kind of reunion, some kind of moment. And then we need the proof that Luffy, has gathered a crew that is better than Shanks' crew. In some way or another, we need these things to go down. Whether it happens, lightly or very seriously, they need to go down in some fashion or form. Now, of course, the first way we could do this a lot that, people mention is, having a serious fight. Whether, we have just Luffy and Shanks or just the whole Redhead Pirates versus the whole Straw Hat Pirates and they fight a very serious battle to see who is stronger. A bit similar to the way, Roger and Whitebeard had their fights in the past. So yeah, we could have something like that and that could be the way we find out. Second option, it could be some kind of a training arc. Still a serious fight, but some kind of training where Shanks is not fully going 100% out, but kind of almost prompting Luffy. And then as Luffy's getting stronger in the fight, Shanks is also, showing more of his own strength. So that could be another way we go down this, in this meeting. And then somehow or another, in some other way, we kind of prove that Luffy's crew is better. Either based on how much they will grow in the future or just their accomplishments as crews. We could just be they could just say, oh, Shanks' crew, yeah, maybe their top 3 guys have, top 4 of them have, good reputations, but the rest of them really haven't done anything. Well, the Straw Hats have done wreaked all this havoc in the world, so maybe they're the better crew like that, I don't know. And then we could go down the route in which it doesn't happen, right? A lot of talk about Shanks dying, whether it's Blackbeard, whether it's someone else. A lot of talk about Shanks dying, so maybe it doesn't happen. Although this is my least favorite one. The one I can maybe kind of go with is that it almost doesn't happen, but Luffy meets him when Shanks is on his deathbed or something like that, right? So Luffy arrives a bit late and then Shanks is dying, and so it's a bit before Shanks dies, but they do get the meeting. I mean, that would still be impactful. It's he hasn't seen him after all this time, and the first time he gets to see him, Shanks is almost dying. So that would still be a great moment, I believe. It also makes sense of Luffy keeping the Straw Hat instead of giving it back to Shanks. And I don't know about proving he's a greater crew, but, it does have some moments there. So that one I can kind of see but the whole not meeting at all, I'm not going down that road. I don't like that one, but it's still an option because who knows what will happen. Then we have the whole Davy back fight, right? The non-serious, playful Davy back fight which the Straw Hats win because the Straw Hats are a bunch of goofy characters and Davy back fights is what they're made for. And yeah, that would prove that they're better. It would give them a chance to, have some kind of playful party fight together. Luffy can give back the Straw Hat and, we can have a jolly time and that can be it. Although at this point in the story, I don't know why that would be a thing. Seeing as Oda's trying to rush to the end and there's all these things, kind of having this in the middle. I mean, it could be just a few chapters long. Just a couple of chapters just to see what's going on. Kind of like the way the original Davy back fight was. It wasn't too long in the story. It was just a little short section. And we kind of moved away from that. We moved on with the rest of the story. So it could be like that. Although I don't know if Oda is planning to do something like that again. Seeing as he's been trying to rush a lot of things. But it would be nice. It would kind of fit with the thing, because the whole serious fighting thing, it doesn't seem like Shanks' thing or kind of Luffy's thing where he does a serious fight, unless it's really for the development of another character, right? So it's kind of like the whole Laboon thing where Luffy fought Laboon. That was kind of for Laboon's own sake, really. But to do it with Shanks, it just doesn't make as much sense. But yeah, Davy Black fight seems like a nice alternative, especially according to like the training one, because it's kind of like, why train him if you're supposed to prove the strats are better? So Davy Black seems to make a lot of sense there, and that's what a lot of people like to believe. But the last two options that I was thinking of is just one, them having a party, right? Because that's what the strats like to do. That's, you know, fits well with the redhead pirate and everything. Now, how this party would happen, would they just meet and have a party? Maybe. I feel like redhead pirates are always hungover most of the time when we see the whole lot of them. Apart from Marineford. Yeah, apart from Marineford, every time we've seen them, they just hung over and partying, right? Oh, and meeting Whitebeard. But then they started drinking. So really, apart from Marineford, it's the only time we've seen them serious and not drinking and just, you know, there, showing up. But it also could be at the end of an arc. Maybe there's something. Maybe we go to Elbaf. There's something that happens in Elbaf, and you know the talks about, you know, Elbaf being associated with Shanks are true, and whatever happens at the end of Elbaf, redhead pirates arrive and they have a party with the redhead pirates, and that's when, you know, Luffy, the transaction with the Straw Hat, the whole thing of seeing whose crew is greater, and I don't know how that would go down, but you know, also just the enjoying the moment of the two of them meeting again would be great. And I feel like that's missing in some regard, especially with the proving which crew is greater. And that's why I like to add a little bit on top of that, is that when they meet, there will be some kind of quest involved in their meeting. Yes. What do I mean by a quest? I mean that kind of Shanks will kind of entrust some kind of mission or quest into Luffy. And that is what will kind of lead into proving that Luffy is a greater pirate than Shanks, right? And this way, Luffy doesn't have to fight Shanks. This way, he doesn't have to, you know, have a better crew than Shanks or be better than Shanks by the time he meets Shanks, right? He just has to be a great pirate. Surpassing Shanks can happen at any point, really. So, Luffy receiving some kind of quest, and how would this quest be? It will be in the form of something that Shanks couldn't do, right? Shanks tried, maybe, because we don't know a lot about Shanks. Maybe Shanks tried to become the Pirate King, right? He tried. But there's just some wall that is just too insurmountable, even for Shanks, when he tried to become the Pirate King, that he just gave up. And so he decided to enjoy life as a pirate, or decided to do other things in which, like, you know, trying to keep the balance in the world, because he knew that, you know, getting to Laugh Tale, as much as it's a Pirate King and it's great, it's also, maybe there's a responsibility to the world, right? And so right now, even though he can't become the Pirate King, he's trying to keep some responsibility to the world. I don't know. This is not really what Shanks is up to theory, but it's more of a, maybe there was something that stopped Shanks from being the Pirate King, you know, back in the day when he really did want to become that. And so, by Shanks telling Luffy about this, whenever Luffy does encounter that wall, he will surpass it, become the Pirate King, and then we will know that he is better than Shanks, because he did something Shanks tried earnestly to do, but never managed, right? And we could still have the whole party with the redhead pirates, you know, and whatever this thing is, it could add to the story, right? It could, you know, especially if it's like becoming Pirate King, it adds to the story as to how do you become the Pirate King? What do you have to do? You know, it fits in with everything and wrapping up the story, but it also gives Luffy and Shanks a great moment. Of course, what kind of thing could this be? I have no idea, right? I really have no idea. But we do have things in the story that seem like they're not really explained. I mean, take the getting to Skypiea thing, for example, right? There's two ways to Skypiea. There's a knock-up string, the dangerous one that they talked about, but then there's also High West that Gunfall talked about, which is the safer route, right? But he said if you go to High West, not all of you would make it. If you take the knock-up string, you all make it or you all don't make it, right? And maybe, right, going to become the Pirate King is kind of like a knock-up stream thing. There's no High West. I'm pretty sure it's High West. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's just knock-up stream. And Shanks tried the knock-up string method and he flopped. He couldn't. He just couldn't. And so if Luffy kind of gets the knock-up string method and he gets to, you know, Raftel, which in this case would be the White Sea, or is it the White Sea? Not really sure which one it is. Sky Islands, then Luffy would have surprised Shanks. He would have done something Shanks couldn't, or Shanks was too scared to even do, right? And that could also, as I said, round off everything really nicely, show Luffy's better than Shanks, have the Luffy and Shanks moment when they meet again, have a party and enjoy themselves, especially if it would be after some kind of arc or some kind of event that's happening in the world. And then also have, you know, whether Luffy's given back the straw hat or not, have that maybe tied to saying, you know, Roger had this hat, and, you know, giving Luffy more motivation to keep the hat, and tying it up with everything, especially Luffy's character and all that kind of stuff. But I guess for this video, that would be it. Let me know what you guys think of this idea of having a quest as opposed to all the other ideas that people have thrown out there. And yeah, would it be great? Would that not be great? Would you really love to see a fight even more than that? Or how do you think it's going to happen? When will it happen, right? Is it the next arc? Is it the next arc? What kind of things would surround that meeting? Would it just be meet and interact, right? Meet and party, meet and fight? Like, how would you think it would go down? Let me know all that down in the description below. As always, guys, if you like this video, please like the video. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you know someone who needs to hear the truth, please share this video with them. If you have time, watch one more of my other videos. If not, thank you for watching this video thus far, guys. This is King KZ. I will see you in the next one.